Happy Camper Radio starts in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody, to the Happy Camper Radio Show, the only place you need to be when you're ready to talk camping. Camping is what we're about. Camping is all we talk about. Daniel, you are looking real chipper today.
Am I? It was a rough day today.
It was a rough day.
It was a rough day.
You made it home early. You had a
early.
You had a guy putting new flooring in your house.
I did.
I wish I had your wallet.
Oh. I wish I had your studio.
Yeah, you just had to throw that out there.
I
didn't
did.
you?
I
Yeah,
did.
wow. You know, it's been excellent camping weather. I've got to admit that, because for the most part, Daniel, it has been nice, but we've had some scattered showers here and about. And rain, I don't care how small or how limited or how big it is. All right, it can put a damper on your camping plans.
Definitely.
And Daniel, my heavens.
Speaking of which, we forgot something last episode. No?
No, you think?
Oh, okay. Never mind.
I brought my tarp with me. I don't know what you were talking about. Oh my heavens! But it reminds me though, Daniel. Even though it's good to have the showers to cool things off.
Yeah.
Do you remember about 5 years ago? And folks, unless you are in this region that we're in right now, in the state of Georgia, we had a massive drought.
Yeah.
That nailed us here. How many years ago was that? About 5 years ago?
I think it was about 3.
I'm talking the vegetation was dying. The lake levels were so low that people who had lake properties and boats that were docked at the edge of shore couldn't get out on the lake because their docks were sinking down into the mud. That's how bad it was.
Last year it rained every day.
And you had these government agencies that were telling people to rat out their neighbor if they caught them watering their lawn. Don't do this, don't do that. Oh, heavens. Daniel, I love the camping weather when it's nice. And, I always sit back and think about that particular drought when I say to myself, oh, I pray it doesn't rain. So, yes, I just I've got to feel blessed that we've had some decent weather. For the most part, the summertime camping that I got in this year, I got wet one way or the other.
Okay.
So it does happen.
You didn't pick it right.
No. And, of course, you've got that pop-up. You can just jump in there.
Yes, very nice.
And just take it home and dry it out. Just
there you go.
Pop it up, close it up, and what have you.
There you go.
Hey, some people love those things.
They do.
I can't knock it. Hey, our phone number here at the Happy Camper Radio Show is 404-537-CAMP. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, and add us to your circles on Google+. Of course, you can access any one of our social media sites very simply by going to our homepage, which is www.happycamperradio.com. Make sure you click on the RSS feed button so you can subscribe to the show and never miss a single episode. And speaking of our website, Daniel, I'm going to be posting some new videos and some new photographs here very shortly.
Ooh.
So you're definitely going to want to check them out.
I think I have a little bit of them.
Yeah, you checked out the pictures of Utah, right? The ones, all those Utah
nice.
Pictures that we put on there for you.
Those are nice. I like those.
And I don't want to talk about heat anymore because
Yeah.
the weather that you had out there was just a little too hot for me. Daniel, we have a guest on the show today, and his name is Todd. Todd, welcome to Happy Camper Radio.
Hey, guys. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you along, too. And Daniel invited you on the show because we're going to talk about a topic today that I've got to admit I'm not too familiar with, but I know Daniel is crazy about this, and I understand you are even crazier about it. And we're going to talk today about Renaissance festivals. So, Renaissance festivals, yes, wow.
Skip, have you ever been to a Renaissance fair?
No, I was just about to say I have never in my life been to a Renaissance fair.
Shame on you.
Exactly. Get him, Todd.
I know that Daniel is a Renaissance geek
Yes.
because I see him just about every year.
Yes.
Daniel has been going to the Renaissance Festival here locally every year since I've known him, and he never misses a beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of my main hecklers at my show.
Oh, is he?
Todd, tell us about what you do at the Renaissance Festival.
I do. I've been doing Renaissance fairs for 30 years, and if you're listening and you don't know, there's Renaissance fairs all over the country. They've become more and more popular. It seems like almost every state has a Renaissance fair now, including where I live is Georgia. So we have a big fair here every spring. But they're usually spaced out through the year, so you can kind of, if you're a Renaissance performer or a crafter, you can kind of mark your calendar and just kind of move from one fair to the other and just kind of do a circuit. And I've been doing a lot of Renaissance fairs for 30 years. I don't do quite as many as I used to do, mostly because I just wanted to try to do as much performing in the Atlanta area as I could now. So when I get out and do a Renaissance fair now, I usually just kind of fly to it and fly back and forth and try to keep things mostly around here.
A lot of the Renaissance information that I drummed up here online, and granted, I'd had an opportunity to do a little bit of reading, and I looked at a lot of pictures, and I see that many of these public events have a historic theme to them. And some settings depict the days of Queen Elizabeth I, and others are set back in the earlier days of Henry VIII. So
that's true. And you know what? There's some that are actually called medieval fairs, too, that go back even further. And there are some people that are so into the historical aspect of it that, I mean, it would amaze you, the detail work that they put into it. And some of those people are patrons that come out. You know, we have patrons that come out in costume and know way more about, well, especially than I know. I come at it from a totally different angle. I'm an entertainer out there. I just want to really have fun with the patrons. And so I actually, I used to do the accents, but I even skip doing the accents anymore. Usually they let the stage acts be a little, they give them a little more leeway on the anachronisms and such. So if you were to come out to my show, I would be wearing a costume, of course, but it would just be almost coming like to a comedy show.
Well, you don't have to tell me anything about patrons coming out to those events dressed in full attire. I mean, I've seen Daniel dressed up in some of his crazy costumes, and, you know, and I'm saying to myself, where is he going now?
Daniel, important question. How many pairs of tights do you have?
I only have one. I just keep them washed. Those things are expensive. It's not cheap being a pauper from the
I have to admit, I don't wear tights anymore. I have not worn tights ever since the incident.
Oh, no.
Well, I have to admit that I failed history in high school. So I couldn't tell you if Daniel was dressed up as Henry VIII or a 17th or 18th century pirate. So
I wouldn't be able to tell you that either.
But anyway, Todd, I understand that these Renaissance festivals, and the reason I bring them up as part of the show is because they are throughout the country and throughout the world, so I understand. And a lot of people who go to these Renaissance festivals, are very dedicated to them, and oftentimes they take their camping gear. And there's oftentimes a campsite somewhere nearby where folks will stay there the entire duration of the festival. That's
true. That's absolutely true. A lot of the fairs, actually most of the fairs, have a dedicated campground on site. Not every fair does, but many of them do. I mean, if most of the fairs, if they're going to run 7 or 8 weekends, really, they need to create some kind of accommodations for all the crafters and the entertainers coming in. And we're talking about, they're usually quite large, so it's almost like a small town that is created for those 7 weeks.
And I understand the people, and I don't mean to cut you off there, but I understand the people who put on these Renaissance festivals actually encourage their visitors to come out there dressed up in the spirit of the festival.
I think so. I think that just adds to the fun of it all. And I don't really know about the patron angle of camping, but I suppose even some of these patrons might even come out and camp. I think some of them want to they become such big fans of some of the entertainers or some of the crafters that I think they become friends with them. It's like Daniel does not work out at the Renaissance Fair, but he through the many years that he's come out to see my show and talked to me after my show, we've kind of become more than just acquaintances. We've become friends now.
Yep. I can tell you this, and if I came out there to see a show, Todd, I'd probably stay long enough to see your presentation, and then I would be back at the campsite, because Daniel will tell you it's very difficult at my age to get me away from the campfire.
He doesn't know about the food, Todd. He doesn't know about the turkey legs and everything. He doesn't know what he's missing.
Daniel, you can have that. You can have that. But Daniel, why don't you tell us a little bit about your experiences here with the Renaissance Festival in Georgia? I know, we've never really sat down and talked at length about it. Mm-hmm. I do know that you go every year. You take your wife with you, and you do this loyally. But tell us about your experiences, what you see and what you do here at the Georgia Renaissance Festival.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I go, I see Todd again, I get a turkey leg, and then I might...
Todd, are you feeding this guy?
Then I might catch a joust.
Yeah, I'll give you the $20 tip after the show.
But, I mean, there's a lot of shows. I mean, over the years, different people have come and gone, and we've developed relationships with other entertainers that, have come through the show, and like there's some entertainers that we've met up. We go to a fair up in North Carolina sometimes, and we'll meet some people there that perform down here, and it's just cool to see them in different areas. And then a few years ago, I went out to Dallas, and the fair out there is just humongous. And I saw a guy out there, and he came to Georgia, I think a couple years ago. I think he might have came one weekend this year. His name was Arson. We saw him out there in Dallas, and we were just blown away. And I just love the acts. I love the atmosphere. It's just like, it's kind of like a miniature Disney World. It's like a whole new world, and you forget all your problems, and you just live this sort of fantasy.
I was kind of blown away by how many of these festivals they have actually in the United States, and not to mention Canada and some of the other countries.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Todd, how many have you performed at? What are the ones that you've performed at?
Really, it's countless. I mean, I would really struggle to go through them all. I'm going to guess maybe 25, 30, maybe even 35. Not all of them are giant. The Georgia one, it's a mid to large size fair. Like you say, over in Dallas, they've got a couple of huge fairs over in Texas.
I love it.
Most of the Midwest has giant fairs that like I'm going up to the Michigan Fair in a couple of weeks. That's a huge fair. It's just a giant fair. But there's many small fairs too. That in the springtime around here, just because they're close to Georgia, I go down and do two or three of the Florida fairs, and a lot of times they're either just one or maybe 2 weekends.
Oh, okay.
That's not bad at all. So you do. You actually,
sometimes they don't have a permanent site for them. They might be held on the state fairgrounds or something like that. So, it's mostly crafters setting up tents, and, they might have a joust come out there too. But you know what? They figure it out, and you populate it with your actors again. You get your jousters out there. You get some good food out there, and it's still a lot of fun. It's just a little different. It doesn't have all the permanent structures like a Georgia fair will have. When you enter the Georgia Renaissance Fair, I mean, you're really entering a Renaissance village. So that really adds to the charm.
So it's really that big in Georgia.
Oh yeah, I mean it's bigger. Yeah. It's big. Like Todd said, when I went out to Dallas, Georgia looked like nothing compared to out there. And I've heard that I've heard rumors about Ohio and Phoenix, and New York are really big deals, and up in Maryland and stuff. And different people. They've done a thing recently at the Georgia Fair. Well, they'll get different acts from other Renaissance fairs, but they might just come in for a weekend or so, and so it gives us kind of a
weekend type of thing. They've got one stage at the Georgia Renaissance for at least like the last 3 years. They've dedicated it as a guest weekend stage, and so that's a fun thing to get. Like you mentioned, Daniel, that Arsène Dupin came out. Mm-hmm. He's a French juggler, clown guy. Super funny. I've known him for 30 years, and actually, I became inspired by some of the things that he did. He's just very funny.
Now, do they actually have these guys dressed up in their medieval costumes that are riding on horses with their pitchforks? The things that I've seen on TV. Do they actually do that?
Absolutely, 100%. Now, most of the joust acts that I've seen, they make it look like it's. I guess what I'm trying to say is most of the time it's choreographed, but you do have a couple of joust groups out there that they're doing it pretty much for real. I mean, they're going after it, and they're trying to knock the guy off.
And some people, you can't tell me some people don't get hurt doing this.
Oh, if you're going to be a jouster, you're going to get hurt. You're going to fall off a horse in armor. You can't help but get hurt doing that.
I would rather.
I guess that's where the testosterone kicks in.
Todd and Daniel, I would rather fall out of my recliner at the campground than get on a horse and have somebody knock me over. I'll just stay back there and enjoy it from the campsite. But one of these days, Daniel, I guess, Daniel will probably talk me into going one of these days. I can't say that, I will stay very long, but, I'm always willing to check something out. But I have heard.
Be surprised.
I'm sorry?
Even the first year, I'm going to say like 32 years ago, someone dragged me to a Renaissance fair, and I didn't want to go. I thought it was going to be something educational, and that just didn't appeal to me at all. And the second I walked through the doors, I thought, oh, it's like this. And it was just so enjoyable and so entertaining. So you might actually be surprised.
Well, Skip, you like working with your hands and stuff, and they have a lot of demonstrations on, the certain crafts that they make. I know they have like a glass blower and stuff, and he shows you how he does that stuff.
And then he's gonna let me do it?
No, I mean, he shows you how to do it. I mean, he's dealing with thousands of degree temperatures and stuff, but it's kind of an educational thing. It's kind of like a Norm Abrams, This Old House kind of thing, but live
Daniel,
in person.
I am not going to go to a Renaissance fair to get second or third degree burns.
You're not going to get third degree burns. But I mean, there's different things. There's I like the silly act stuff. There's a lot of, it's not just costumes. They've got hammocks there. They've got these, what are they called, Todd? Sky chairs, where it's just one hook that hooks up to,
And it's like a chair on a rope.
Yeah, it's like...
It would be perfect for camping. In fact, a lot of campers buy
I just bought my daughter one of those.
Oh, see?
I can't say that I am going to sit in it.
If you do a full day of hiking or even walking around a Renaissance fair, I noticed at the end of the day that they have like 30 of those chairs hanging there, and that booth is filled with people lounging in those chairs. I really think that's their secret to selling those things, is when the people come by at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah. Try it before you buy it.
Yeah,
that makes perfect sense.
They got they got the clothes, they've got jewelry, different jewelry. I know you're probably not into that, but like they've got just really cool stuff. I mean,
quilts.
Like they might have quilts. I haven't seen them at ours, but there's a running joke, Todd, on our show
Daniel,
that I go to quilting shows.
He does. He does. Daniel, I was about to say, yeah, you were telling me that they have hammocks there.
Yeah.
Well, my birthday's around the corner, so you get me my hammock, and I will go to this show, and I will buy you a quilt.
How about I take you to the Renaissance Fair as a birthday present? I owe you one Renaissance Fair trip. That's what I'm doing.
Skip, the Sky chairs even have a cup holder for your beer.
Oh, there you go, Skip.
Okay, now that you have me interested, both of y'all, tell me about this good food that I hear so much about at these Renaissance festivals.
You got it, Todd.
Probably Daniel would be better at describing that, because a lot of times I bring my own food out there just because I'm an entertainer. A lot of times I just have to eat, between shows real quick. Sometimes I eat out there. Usually it's wraps. They have some wraps and stuff. But what the patrons usually want to go after is the things like the turkey drumsticks and. Probably Daniel has a handle on some of the food items.
Well, those turkey drumsticks seem to be the trademark of the Renaissance Festival advertising, because just about every printed or television ad that you see for a Renaissance Festival, you're going to see somebody with one of them turkey drumsticks in their hand.
they're quite a meal. There's a lot of meat on those.
It looks like it.
There used to be we used to do this thing. We do it sometimes, but not always. We always get a turkey leg for me, and then Deidre later on will get potato skins, and it's like 2 potatoes split open, 2 small potatoes, and it's like a baked potato but bite size. And we always get that, and they've got steak on a steak. They've got
I like steak on a steak.
And they've got chocolate covered strawberries. They've got anything you can imagine fried. I think they've got fried pickle. They got everything fried. I don't know if they have it or not, Todd. You could probably tell me if they still have deep fried Coke. Do they still have that?
Never heard.
I know they had macaroni and cheese on a stick.
Yeah.
They probably still have that. I always called it heart attack on a stick.
Yeah. Well, I think with the deep fried Coke, I think they have like a doughy, outside. Then they pour the Coke inside. Then they deep fry it, and you eat it like that. I've never tried it before, but it sounds crazy. I stick with my drumstick.
I think that's a smart move, Daniel.
But I mean, actually, and another thing we always get chocolate covered bananas. Those are the best. I love them. I mean, it's the worst food in the world, but it's great. I mean, if you don't do it, but every now and then, I mean, you need to treat yourself. It's really good food. But
and from reading some of these locations online, of course, I didn't look at a whole lot of them, but I see some of them are very pet friendly too. So in some like
the Georgia Renaissance Fair, and I'm not sure why they only do one weekend that's for pets, so you can bring your dogs out, and those are funny weekends too because people dress up their dogs like dragons and knights, and it's really cute, and they have like a costume contest for your animals. But the fair I'm going right now, Michigan, it's just every weekend is animal weekend, and I love seeing the dogs, all the pets out there, and I always thought, well, is this going to be a problem? But it never. People are pretty good about picking up out after their pets at the Renaissance fairs. It's just really, really nice to see the
and really that's the way it ought to be because Daniel and I have talked about pets in campground situations, camping with pets, and pets are no doubt a part of our family. I don't care what family you have.
I think people that have a pet that might be a little more aggressive or something, I think they're smart enough to maybe leave that pet behind. But if you've got a good, friendly pet, heck, bring it on out to the Renaissance Fair.
That's right, and I'm sure that they want to be there too. I'm sure that the pets would rather be right there with their owners and their family members rather than be left at home or missing out on all the fun.
It's funny y'all are talking.
They get those turkey drumstick bones off the ground, and they have their own little treats.
It's funny y'all talk about this. Someone me and Todd both know, Dexter and Jana. They've kind of gone off the Renaissance Fair circuit, and now they're doing their own little circus, and they work with shelter cats like from or shelter pets from humane societies and everything, and they're starting their own act, going around to places and doing stuff with dogs and stuff, and that's real interesting.
Hey, anytime somebody can adopt a pet from an animal shelter, I'm all for it.
They actually, Skip, Todd knows this too. Who is it? The Fayetteville Humane Society is always out there every weekend.
Super.
Yeah, I love seeing them out there.
And they bring
quite a few dogs adopted out there.
Yeah.
And so they actually bring some of the animals from the shelter there for people to adopt on site.
That's right.
Wow.
That's
funny. That's terrific.
It's
that
funny.
Is great.
Last year, it was kind of depressing. There was this dog that we saw for years and years and years, and Todd probably knows this too. His name was One-Eye Jack, and evidently his owner died, and he died or either he died or his owner died, but like he and his owner died like within weeks of each other. They were inseparable. But he was missing an eye, and they always dressed him up like a pirate, and he was like the big thing to go to when you went to the Humane Society.
No wonder you were hooked on that dog, Daniel.
Yeah, he had a big underbite, yeah.
Oh, my.
He was so cute, though.
I could really appreciate that.
See, you got to come out now, Skip.
Hey, guys, you're talking me into it. I just might take Daniel up on that free ticket offer.
There we go. Hey,
and we'll just
when's buy one get one free? Isn't that the first weekend?
You better, if you're going to buy one get one free, you better give that free ticket to your wife and not me.
Maybe we could bring Betty Crocker.
Oh, okay. There's always that possibility.
She likes it.
Well, Todd, hey, listen, I want to take this opportunity to thank you so much for being on the show and sharing your experiences with Renaissance festivals. Just in this short 25, 30 minutes that we've been chatting, I have learned a lot. And I am one that's very difficult to get away from the camp. And it takes a lot of work from some people to actually get me out to do stuff, because I did that in my younger years. But everything you guys are telling me right now, and that's one of the reasons I brought up the question of the food, because if they've got good food there, that's going to be another draw. It's probably going to draw me right on in. So, Todd, I want to thank you so very much for calling the show here today and taking this opportunity to share this information with each and every one of our listeners. And incidentally, if you want more information on Renaissance festivals in the U.S. and other countries, I found a website. You can check it out. It's www.therenlist.com. Check that out right now. Go to your computer, pull it up, www.therenlist.com for more information on Renaissance festivals throughout the United States and other countries. It's time now for our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. Daniel, we're talking about hot temperatures. We may as well just go right on down to Florida.
There you go.
This week, we are going to visit Salt Springs Recreation Area. This campground is open all year round, Daniel. They have got a lot of campgrounds, or a lot of campsites, should I say, for people to enjoy. The facility is one of the largest campgrounds in the Ocala National Forest, and the only one with full hookups for RVs.
Ooh, we might be going down there, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Right, well, definitely take a lot of pictures.
I got some vacation days in October.
Take a lot of pictures. The facility offers spacious campsites for RVs and trailers, as well as a designated tent-only area where you will find me.
Yes.
So, definitely check that out here. And it's going to be on our website all week long. It is our featured campground of the week. It is the Salt Springs Recreational Area in Florida, our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. And as always, if you have a campground that you would like Daniel and I to feature on the program, you can start by emailing this guy, Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com, or the guy who loves getting fan mail,
Daniel at happycamperradio.com.
And as always, make sure that you include a link to the campground website. I don't care if it's a private campground, a public campground. If you'd like for us to feature it on the show, I know there are dozens and dozens of great campground, or should I say hundreds, that Daniel and I aren't even familiar with. But if you've camped there, it's got to be a fantastic campground for us to visit, as well as our other Happy Camper listeners. So definitely send that on to Daniel and I, and we'd love to feature it on the program here. Daniel, it's been an interesting conversation here today,
and I thank you. I liked it.
I thank you so much for bringing Todd on board there. And
yeah.
I got to admit, I learned something today.
There you go.
And that's pretty difficult for a guy like me to swallow. I usually like to take the idea, well, if it has to do with camping, I pretty much know everything. No, I certainly don't. But, hey, that's just the way it goes. But, hey, next week, Daniel, when we get together, we're going to have another great conversation.
Ooh.
And I have got something up my sleeve
that
I'm going to go ahead and keep on ice.
Oh.
And keep it nice and cool while the temperatures are hot.
All right.
So I'll keep that in suspense. And we'll be talking about it next week on the show. Hey, folks, don't forget, you can catch us anytime at www.happycamperradio.com. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, and add us to your circles on Google+. The Happy Camper Radio Show is a presentation of Skip Huber Productions. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper. Daniel's a happy camper.
Woo.
Do you think we made Todd a happy camper today?
I think so.
Good. I hope so. And you, my friends, can be a happy camper too. We'll talk to you next week. This is Happy Camper Radio.